Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the family. I am honored to have you here. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. I want to open today's collective reading with a huge note of gratitude. I am currently on the road to 100 subscribers. And I cannot tell you guys enough what this means to me. I know that I find fulfillment and joy in simply bringing these messages forth, but I think any reader will tell you it can get very discouraging and it can be very heavy on the heart when you are continually working at something, knowing that there is a place for you in this area, knowing that this is the right path and seeing no results or be like breadcrumb results for such a long duration of time. And to see my channel growing and to see these messages finally reaching the people that they're meant to, I cannot tell you guys the level of gratitude that I feel in my heart. So for all of you new subscribers, for those of you who are here from Lexi the Leo, for those of you who came across one of my shorts and stuck around, I just want to say thank you so much. This little board right here, thankful, grateful, and truly blessed, is so very much how I feel and how I feel about this channel. And what I'm here to do is help rejuvenate that within the collective, help everybody realize their own light and coming to their own light and the depth and power of healing and passion and purpose. And so I want to say thank you so much one more time. Now, let's get into this collective reading. So I'm actually going to show you guys. This was inspired last night. It was 10:12 p.m. last night. And I actually was already in bed because, you know, I've got kids and a very busy schedule. And I had this huge, massive download that came in. And it's such a fitting message for today because this question, this inspiration for the question has been so prominent in my own life. The collective reading that we're talking about today is why does it matter? Why does it matter? There is a lot of heavy energy in the cosmos right now. In the past, it would have been something I would have been sucked under by. And even in my own life, all around me, there are these heavy, heavy energies going on. I would have gone searching and trying to find out some reason, some causation for how I was feeling, even if it wasn't my own energy, just trying to find it. I would have pulled cards. I would have gone to my online oracles. I would have stared at the astrology transit charts. So if anybody here has been here for a while, you know that as an astrologer, it is this constant, I always go to the stars. This is what I would have been doing all the time, trying to find out how I was feeling, what I was feeling, where it was coming from, how I could get out of it. Instead, it's just not what I did this time. Instead, what I have been doing is reflecting on the energy that's literally in the air around us. It's almost as though you can breathe it in, and it's like breathing in a heavy blanket sometimes, and your body feels heavy and your heart feels heavy and your mind feels heavy, and it's like somebody just doused you with hot water on the hottest day of the year, covered you in a blanket and said, now go about your business. That's how the energies have felt. What I've been reflecting on, not just how it feels, giving it something that is relatable, but also what I can do to maintain my own energy while helping to bring this same energy that I'm in, that I feel, to others. And I had to ask myself, why does it matter? We live in a world that so often we end up really focusing on ourselves, or we think that well, nobody's going to help me, so I can't help anybody else until I get my help. And that's not a way that I operate. I want to genuinely help the collective. And I have oftentimes asked for help, and my own expectations of how that help was going to come in has actually slowed that help coming through. Now, when I asked Lexi to help me, give me advice on my channel, it was something that really was difficult for me to do. I had asked other people before, I had asked friends before, I had done all sorts of research, and at the same time, there was still that fear and that anxiety surrounding it. And Lexi just came back and just showed me that there are genuinely good people, just like I am. There are people who just will give because it feels right to them, not because it's too heavy, not because they're hoping for something in return, but because they've been where I am and they want to help. Not because it's what can she get from me, but what can we build together, working in collaboration. And this is something that I have watched with her channel. I have watched with 9 3/4, with Celtic Fairy Tarot, with ASO Tarot, with Kino Tarot. I have watched it with so many others. Tarot with Tay. So many others. I believe Bianca Tarot was in that group as well, where it's everybody's working together. It's building each other up. It's reaching a hand for those who are further advanced. It's reaching a hand down to those like me who have been fighting. And for me, I literally called my husband crying today. And I said, I've been fighting for this channel for 9 months. 9 months I've been fighting for this channel, and I have fought so hard to not feel like the other shoe is going to drop every time I get one new subscriber, to not feel like I'm on the wrong path, to not feel like I don't belong with spirit and doing my spiritual journey in this way. It's been very difficult for me, and Lexi came through and really helped me so much. And so what I want to do is help you all understand, even though I know the energy is heavy, I genuinely am not experiencing it myself. I'm experiencing this thankful, grateful, and truly blessed energy. And I want to help you understand how to get there. Now, of course, we're going to get into a section of how I know without knowing how I know, something that will help. And yes, shameless self-plug here. With as many planets right now that are in retrograde motion, knowing how the energies are moving in the collective has truly been my saving grace, personally. It isn't something specific to me, and I have genuinely written several books about each retrograded planets, the energies, and channeled messages for how it will feel, how it will appear, and how we can work with the energies. These are energetic lessons being imbued in our energy and awareness, and they are all timeless, despite the structure of the books being based off of the planetary retrograde energy now. When these energetic awarenesses and lessons come in for us, with these books, we can literally take them and we can tap into the energies and the lessons, even if a time frame has passed, and we can apply it to our life now so that we can actually break ourselves out of these cycles a whole lot faster. We can work on making our life better. And I'm sitting here staring and I see the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, and literally the 3 of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. This to me is literally saying, like, that's how it was. Look at the center is people working together. This is the goal. The 10 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, it's everything that we want. But when we learn how to work together with these planets and with retrograde energy, when we work together as a collective to recognize that this is how the collective is feeling, but how can we help it? How can we work together and work through this? Then we're working on perfecting this beautiful art. And we also are learning how to be able to take a break and take a rest and meditate and connect with spirit and really having this beautiful give and take within the collective. I'm literally like seeing in my third eye someone posting a video and then taking a break for a week, and everybody else coming in and filling in, so that all the messages flow together in such a beautiful, harmonious way. But nobody falters, nobody falls behind. Everybody builds and grows together. And as they build and grow together, we build a collective of enlightened and spiritually aware and energetically aware people that can genuinely step out into the world and change it. And guys, I know I'm an idealist at nature. I know that I would be that person that would be like, let's live in a utopian society and say screw everything else, because that's just, it's in my heart and soul. I have a lot of 12th house placements. My Cancer is in my 12th house. So that whole like retreating into my shell and wanting a utopian society is ingrained in my energy. But it's also part of what I'm here to help you guys understand is a beautiful vision. And we can take steps towards however that appears to us right here and right now. Now, all these energetic lessons are being imbued in our energy and our awareness, and they're timeless. Like I mentioned before, they make sense of the seemingly nonsensical energy, that energy that was a wet blanket on your shoulders, weighing you down, holding you down. They help make sense of that. I cannot tell you the magnitude in which just going through and writing these books, touching the energies, working through the energies, and I have to work through all the energies as I'm working through the book. So I have to work through 6 months of energy as I'm working on the book. With Chiron, it was literally, I took a trip to Florida and I learned a plethora of lessons and healing surrounding my mother and the mother line and divine mother. And I literally got a message from Lexi today to talk about how this has been a collective theme, and I've seen it. I've seen Chloe Taylor talking about PCOS, and I know that I myself, I literally have one ovary left, and now that ovary is going into polycystic ovarian syndrome itself. It's not a fun process, but I'm attuning myself to the moon. I'm attuning myself to my natural cycles, and I'm learning how to adjust. This is something that is intricately tied to Chiron and Chiron's retrograde, and I channeled it months ago. But I had to work through all of the lessons and the energies, and when I was done, that's when I started experiencing the physical. Once I recognized what I was experiencing, then I shifted my own energy because I was aware of what was going on. That's what these books give to others. This is part of my divine purpose, is to help you all understand that. So beyond leading by example, because I can't really tell you guys the magnitude of the transformations that these books have. So beyond leading by example, how calm and assured I genuinely feel right now. Granted, you guys can probably feel my excitement. So I hope that really gets you guys inspired and excited here. But these nonsensical moments out in the world, the chaos that I can see, the continual tower moments that people are experiencing, and this is happening to people closest to me. My daughter, my ex-husband and his wife are experiencing something very similar to it. Actually, both my daughters right now are experiencing very similar tower moments in a different way. But it's one of those where sometimes you realize when someone else is going through a tower moment, the best thing that you can do is give them love and support, but not try to stop it and not try to fix it. These books have helped me understand all of that. So on that note, these books really do hold wisdom, and I feel so blessed and truly humbled and grateful to be able to channel into the world all of these lessons, but also to be here, to have this be a collaborative effort between me and my books and this channel. if you guys are interested in checking out the books, I also have 3 self-help books. Everything is available on Amazon. The description is in the link is in my description box to my Amazon author page. So definitely check those out today. If any of you guys have Kindle Unlimited, all of my books are free on Kindle Unlimited. I know I want to say Lexi has read at least 2 of my books. She's read one of my retrograde guidebooks, and she read my most recent Something Spiritually Catchy self-help book. So those I can tell you, I have had vetted. But I'm always looking for beta readers. So if anybody's interested, please let me know. All right. So on to the reading here, because now that we've gone through 15 minutes of me just splurging everywhere with my excitement. So I've had Lizzo's About Damn Time stuck in my head for days, like literally days on end, especially the part that says, I'm not the girl I once or used to be, but bitch, I might be better. That isn't just a message for myself. That's a collective message. And I want you guys to think about that. You are not who you once were. You are not who you used to be. If you're here, if you're on this spiritual path, and I trust and I can feel that energy, I am here to tell you that you are better than what you used to be. And this doesn't mean that you used to be a bad person. It means that you have grown, that you have changed, that you have adapted and become more enlightened and become more aware. You have healed in ways that you don't even understand the magnitude of it because it hasn't fully hit your awareness. But I am seeing timeline healing in so many different ways, in so many different directions. And so I want to tell you that message coming through was so very strong. And I know 100% the message was coming through because even though I'm here and standing in as an example for others, it's because I'm here to show you, to be that reflector for you, to show you what you are, what you have done, what you are capable for. That's what these messages are here for. So collectively, we're all beginning to realize that we are not who we once were. We are not who we used to be. We have grown, we have changed, we have healed, we have bettered ourselves. For me, it's... When I say I'm here and standing as the example for others, it's not in a way that is meant to be self-serving, but it's an equal exchange of energy. I'm not who I was before writing my books, before going through all the things that I needed to go through in order to write the books that I write. I am not who I was before I sat down and started this channel and started channeling messages for the collective. I am not who I was before all the things I've done and changed within myself and my own life. I am not that person anymore. That was a person who genuinely was stuck in victim mentality and suffering from PTSD and CPTSD, anxiety, depression, chronic illness, chronic physical pain. It was miserable, and addiction. I was an alcoholic, and I overcame that throughout this whole process. All of these things I've done. I am better. If you're finding yourself asking, what's the point anyway? Right here and right now is when you get this answer. What is the point anyway? Now is when we all get to understand. Now is when we all begin to understand. I learned through the cosmos and through working with spirit, the universe, the stars, Mother Earth, and the ancient energies that are reaching out and connecting to me. That's how I learn. That's how I grow. How do you learn and how do you grow? And now I'm hearing Truth Hurts by Lizzo, and I'm here to tell you nothing but the truth. The truth is there is a point to all of this. There's a point to the pains endured and the emotions felt. There is a point to the challenges and the tower moments. There is a point collectively and a point individually. And right now I'm looking at this 4 of Roses and Views of the Ego. And it's literally 3 men standing in a room, but the man in the middle is so focused on himself and his own reflection and what he looks like and how he appears that he doesn't see the help and the support he has around him. He only sees himself. When you flip it upside down, that's breaking out of those views, breaking out of that ego view. That's what we're working on right here, right now, together, collectively, on my channel, with other readers, in the spiritual community, in the world as a whole. Even for those who don't identify with being a spiritual person or a religious person or a faith-based person, you could be here and be an atheist. I genuinely have had that happen before because one of my friends is an engineer and he has told me on multiple occasions, like, there's nothing that you can say that's going to change my mind. I'm a man of science, and that's fine because I can relate to you. I can take my spirituality and relate it scientifically if I need to. But today what we're going to do is we're going to get a message from the cards and spirit about the collective point of it all. At the end of the reading, I'm going to have 3 card piles. So get a number in your head, 1, 2, or 3. If you're pulled to more than one, that is just fine. They're all themed. I have them already out, and they were what were on the thumbnail. So whatever you felt drawn to, whether it's through the image that you got on the thumbnail or just hearing 1, 2, or 3 in your head just now, or with your clairaudience, however it works, that I will incorporate 3 mini messages at the end of this collective reading. Each one of these card piles is meant to bring you closer to your place within the collective message that we're about to go through. It's also to help you find your community of like-minded people. And in doing so, I'm going to open up the comment section below and ask you guys to tell which piles you chose so that you guys can identify who is related to you in terms of your progress right now. And I just saw 2211 on the clock, so that may be significant for some of you. But this way you get to see that you're not the only one going through what you're going through. You're not alone in this. So I'm asking my community to help each and every one of us find more of those within our communities and energies. So let's get into the reading. So Spirit, we're going to start with taking a dip into the Akashic Records. Can we get a kind of view into the Akashic Records of collective energy right now? Can we, I'm going to ask anybody watching this to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and out. Good. Good. Now the energies are nice and calm. If you'd like to do this guided visualization with me, feel free. If not, to sit back and we will be getting the cards soon. If you would like to do a guided visualization, I want you to calm your body and your mind. Now picture a library. And the library has this expansive columns full of books. Books are everywhere. And you can see what look like librarians walking through. Each one is cloaked in white. And they are cloaked in or surrounded. They're surrounded by this golden energy just pulsating off of them. Every time they touch a book, it's like a spark comes from their fingertips. Now I want you to look forward, and there's a table. There's a table forward, and on that table there's a book. This book is collective information, collective energy. Sit down at the table. As you look up, there is a being sitting across from you. This being is rapidly changing, flickering, different faces, genders, ethnicities, nothing solid. Everything is static, always changing. This is spirit. This is the essence of spirit. Spirit is all things, all places, all the time. And spirit is saying, look down and read for the awareness and the answers are below you. Okay? Now you may open your eyes. I apologize if you guys could hear that. See? Okay. So the top row, this top row is kind of that indicator of what is coming down. What is coming down from our awareness. And you see, this one, I wanted to, first of all, I want to mention, there is a kind of crossover. I don't like to read cards in reverse. Actually, I do want to, okay. We're going to make sure we have the back of the deck here with 20, will, wisdom, and mind. And that actually correlates to the judgment card. It's very Celtic, if you couldn't tell. It's got the triquetra on it, but it's got water and fire and the crown, as well as the physical world. So that's what we're working with. This is all of it. It's like all of the elements are suddenly blending together and coming together into harmony. They're interlocking, they're interlinking. And actually, let me pull out my notebook. Give me just, actually, I'm going to need a moment because it's downstairs. Okay, I am back. So, first of all, we have the spring and autumn card. Before we get into the back of the deck energy, because this is really the overall theme here, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is the notebook that I needed to go get, and I'm going to explain to you why it's so important. So here we have spring and autumn. Now, where we're at right now, we actually have these are the two seasons occurring, both in the southern and the northern hemisphere. So the northern hemisphere is moving into autumn. The southern hemisphere is moving into spring. This is a time in the collective timeline or collective book of will and wisdom and knowledge and awareness and understanding. This is a time right here and right now in which these forces between the two hemispheres are actually reflecting back to us this awareness that for every single thing, there is a counterbalance in the world. For everything that we do, there has been a contracted reflection for us. This Ark of the Covenant is like this right now is the time. This spring and autumn equinox transition period, which actually is happening next week on the 22nd of September, is when we shift into the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere when we go into Libra season. That's when this Ark of the Covenant is going to open up for collectively our awareness of where we're at in our lives, where we're at on our soul journeys, where we're headed. It's like where we have been trying to go, where we have been trying to get, and whether that's the right way to go and to get. But then it goes into this intricacies in industry. And this is literally talking about, I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards. So this is actually talking about the finer details of things. It's about the smaller notes, the smaller things, the subtle energies, the subtle messages. It's about working at something, working at finessing things, at building things. And this also talks about, if you look, he's pointing. And this is the funniest thing about it, is the card talks about where he's pointing to is indicating what is being built, like what is the impact here. And he's literally pointing to, oh my gourd, I love fall. So I giggle because Well, we start with the autumn and the spring card. And so, first of all, I'm going to tell you guys, I can literally see this top row in my own life. I started this channel shortly before the spring equinox hit. I started this channel and I really, really committed to it. However, I also started channeling the books during the spring season, shortly after Aries season. So in many ways, this has already played out in my life. And it is playing out in my life. And how that's playing out is right here. It's in understanding the strength and the power that you have when you root yourself into this knowingness. And I mean, come on, guys, the willow, that's so funny. Especially considering if you guys heard the little yip earlier, that was my dog, Willow. And she, take that as confirmation. But with this willow, it talks about, there she is. She's like, I heard you talk about me, Mom. I heard you say it. It's time for me to make an appearance. Ready? Say hi, Willow. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, you're getting so big. Yeah. So it's my willow dog. And this willow card really talks about your own strength. It's about rooting yourself into the physical world. One of those ways that we do that is we have pets. Pets really break us out of this like constant, who am I? What am I doing? What's important? How's the world reflecting back to me? How important I am? And guys, I've been in that place. But the strength and the power of our emotions, of our rooting, of our connections here and now, knowing that we're on the right track, knowing that we're doing the right thing, knowing that we're going in the right direction, that all is helping break us out of this idea that our egos are bad, but it's helping us come to a healthy ego state. Now, the reason why this is so important is because the guided visualization that I did for you guys is something that I do on a regular basis for myself, or at least I used to. I stopped doing it for a while because it was something that somebody I trusted and really like genuinely shared a lot of my more personal information and methods, and was doing it because I was trying to see how well it worked. She was one of those friends who was in that view of the ego and decided, well, this is a great idea, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it as though it were my own. And it was something that okay, go ahead. But for me, it was like, at least acknowledge that someone else taught you to do this kind of thing. Because it was one of those moments where I felt as though I wasn't being seen. But I didn't realize that my own strength was involved in that. Now, the reason why I'm being so open with you guys on all of this is because we're all collectively understanding our own majesty, our own power, our own covenant with spirit, with this world, with how we can help the world get on track, how we can help the world see the subtle, the nuances, the small things, the healing that needs to be done. When we're talking about will and wisdom and the mind, we're literally talking about the ether, the essence, the soul, the origins of everything, and the Akashic field, which I call the realm of Ka because I'm very, very connected to Heka, who is one of the primordial deities in Egypt. But as I was channeling from the Akashic records, this is how it kind of works for me. I will sit and channel for it. And here's something that I wanted to show you. So when we have downloads from the Akashic records, and that is literally what's going on with all this heavy energy, we're all getting massive, massive downloads for why we're here, what our souls are here to do, what we're endeavoring to build in this life. That's what we're getting. It's coming down essentially, and when I say coming down, it feels that way because of the heaviness. It's coming down into a state of knowing and then sensing, and through that knowing and then the sensing of it, we build this awareness. And that's literally what I drew 2-3 weeks ago, I want to say. Let me see. I think I dated this. August 20th. It's been almost a month since I got the download for this reading. But using this symbol, we can see how there is a symbiosis of the energy between the realm of Ka, or the Akashic realm, and each one of us. But our energy is an ever-flowing, ever-changing nature. It's halted in motion if we break the connection, like the drawn symbol above. It's halted in motion. And it occurs through the halting of the mental energy. It's one of those things which comes back to the mind, not the brain, but the mind. This is less physical and more energetic. And the continual notion of the mind being equivalent to the brain is where we collide with the energy flow openness. Now, that's just a snippet of the things that I download from the Akashic Records. It can be a lot. So essentially, when we're downloading and we hear something, if we stop it midway through, it's going to negatively impact us. And forgive me if I start crying. I'm going to tell you guys a story that Spirit is calling me to share with you. 2 weeks ago, I heard with my clairaudience, I heard someone is going to die. And this is part of my gift that's really hard for me. I just said, okay, if this is the case, thank you for the awareness. And I went about my day, and about an hour later, I got a message from my daughter, my eldest daughter, and she had sent me a news article about a murder. Now, I talked about this murder in my Why the Tower Moment Happened video, and it was one of my very good friends. We had been friends for 18 years, and he was murdered by his father, and it was very, very traumatic and very hard to understand and to go through. And I sat with it with Spirit, and instead of bemoaning and saying, well, what's the point of anything, because his life was cut short, his wife was pregnant, what's the point of it all? I asked, is his soul okay? How is his soul adjusting? And the words that I got were different. And then I said, thank you for being in my life. And I got the word hugs, and I was using a Spirit app at the time. And so it was very profound, very, very profound and very emotional for me. But in that moment, I could have been like, in the past, what I would have done is, well, why did I hear it and not be able to do anything? I shed from myself the ego, and I asked on a soul level, what can I do here? What is this? How can I help? But I will have moments where messages like that will come through, and I'll stop them in their tracks. And I had that happen just like yesterday, where I heard someone is going to die. And I know that there is a situation in my life in which someone is genuinely at risk of dying because of a serious situation. But I stopped the message in its tracks, and I heard my guide say, you cannot keep doing this. You cannot stop the messages from coming through. It's important. Let them flow through and don't attach to them. And that takes a huge feat of strength. And that's what we're learning here, is to not attach to some of the things that we see, hear, know, and understand. We're learning to let go of that. We're learning here what strength and power of the will that we have. We're learning the wisdom that we hold in our souls, and we're learning how to meld these things with a strong mindset that doesn't stop something, but allows it to flow, understanding that it's going to flow in the natural way it is meant to. Collectively, we have been stopping the messages. And when you stop them, they back up. I'm actually seeing Harry Potter and the nature of like when Vernon Dursley, when Uncle Vernon like boarded up all the windows and boarded up everything in the house so that the letters couldn't get in, what happened? They came pelting down the chimneys. It created this massive pressure until everything exploded. And then all of a sudden, all sorts of letters were coming in, flying everywhere. Now, we're not going to get into the movie and Harry and how he was jumping up and down instead of just picking up a letter off the floor. This is not about logic. Because there's always going to be that one person who's like, yeah, but Harry should have, like, Harry wasn't smart in that bit, in that scene. Yeah, I know. I get it. But it was illogical. At least in the book, you know, the letters were violently flying through the air enough to cut off half of Uncle Vernon's mustache. So you knew that it was like, run away. But regardless, this is what it's like. Every time we stop these messages from coming through, we create more and more and more pressure. And so the reason why I'm sitting here and saying, I understand that the energies are this way, and I can sense them. I know them and I can sense them. So they're within my awareness, but I don't experience it. It's because I stopped stopping the messages. And then when I started going back to that, my guides literally redirected and got me back on track. And that's what the collective theme is doing right now. We are getting our souls on track in such a huge and profound way. And it's going to differ in everyone else's life, because not everybody channels the way that I channel. Not everybody feels the way that I feel. However, the themes are there. This is about the strength, the grounding, the connection to the earth, to Mother Gaia, to this place and this beauty that we are surrounded by. It is about the power of water and air and fire and earth blended together, and then welcoming spirit in as the fifth element, because we all need that fifth element. Some of you may have just recently watched The Fifth Element, is what I'm hearing. So this is why you felt called to that movie. That's very interesting. You know, I haven't seen that movie more than once in my life. Anyway, we're going to clear up the Akashic field, and we're going to get some messages from our The Journey and the Queen of Roses. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. And initiation of the Count Saint Germain. Yeah, this initiation energy is so huge. It is so huge in the collective. This is divine mother, divine feminine energy being really imbued in the collective. So I'm going to pull these cards real quick, just as a closing before we get into the 3 mini piles. So we've got the 7 of Lightning, or the 7 of Swords. Yeah. And then the 8 of Pumpkins, or the 8 of Pentacles, which we've already seen. The Empress. And then I have 2 on the floor. The 5 of Candles, the 5 of Wands, and the Sun. I love it. And then the 6 of Wands, or the 6 of Candles on the back, which also correlates to the rainbow and chakras. So this is literally about, it's about the grounded nature of the divine feminine. It's about taking all of the things that have felt so deceiving in our lives, that we've broken out of the deception. And that's a huge, huge deal. We have broken out of the deception energy, and we are perfecting that. And this Empress card really talks about the loving nature of the mother, that loving motherly energy. And it's understanding that sometimes you have to be harder as a mom. Sometimes you have to be harder as that divine feminine. Sometimes you have to understand that you have to harden a certain aspect of you and allow for yourself to transform. I'm literally looking at the Sun card, and it's got Winifred Sanderson, and she's hardening like a stone because the sun has come up. This is taking all of that deceptive energy and allowing it to be transformed into something hard and heavy. And so if you're in a situation where something feels really heavy, it's almost as though you've got like a backpack on your back, but you're not actually carrying a backpack. That's how you know that there is something in that energy that is making you feel like you have to struggle and you have to fight and that you can't do it, that everything is just melting away and falling away from you. But victory is literally here for the collective. Creative victory, especially. And that's really what I'm seeing here is creative victory. And now I'm being brought back to these 3 cards. There we go. I'm being brought back to the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Cups. This is about knowing how to work together. And again, we've got 3s here. We've got closing energy. The Sun is 19. It reduces to a 10. You've got swords. You literally have everything but cups up here for us to be aware of. The mind is ready to align to the heart. When the mind and the heart align, that's when everything starts flowing together. And Venusian energy right now is so potent. She's bringing in balance. Like Venus is ushering in justice right now, especially with her being in no, she's in Virgo still, isn't she? I want to say she's still in Virgo. If she's in Virgo, Mercury is in Libra. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so Mercury is, took me a minute. Mercury is in Libra and Venus is in Virgo, which means they are mutually receptive. They are actually working together in the skies to bring a balanced harmony to self-love, self-care, and then service to others. I actually just wrote about this. I'm almost done with Uranus's retrograde guidebook, but not quite there yet. So without further ado, we're going to shift into the messages. So if you chose pile 1, these are your cards. We have the High Priestess. We have Mithras with sacrifice and Hathor with contentment. Okay, give me just one moment with the cards. Okay, guys, so these are brand new cards, but this is your divine masculine and your divine feminine. And where you're seeing this divine masculine and divine feminine appearing in your life has everything to do with the High Priestess. So you guys are my pile, where I would normally be like, you're my pile 3s. You guys are my psychics, my mystics, my seers, my sages. Mithras talks about sacrifice. Now, I'm not going to read the entire section. This is Gods and Titans by Stacey DeMarco, which if you are a reader, Stacey DeMarco's books and cards are just phenomenal. I absolutely love her work. I can't get enough of her stuff. Hers and Denise Lynn's and Sandra Ann Taylor for sure. They're just amazing with this stuff. But Mithras and sacrifice, it says, examine the balance between healthy sacrifice and being totally selfless. Consider establishing a code of honor and harmony. And the symbols are bulls, bull's horns, stars, sun and moon on a shield, hour burrows, and a handshake. This is Taurus energy, and Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So this is a lot of Venusian energy, and Hathor is a lot of Venusian energy as well. Actually, I want to say that Hathor actually is associated with Venus herself. Okay. Oh, that's Helen. There we go. Hathor and contentment. It says, celebrate in joyful peace. Be contented with what you have. Dance, sing, love, and create without anxiety. It's time to rest and to cease driving forward for a time. So you remember those cards that I said where we were going to learn how to build each other up. For those of you who are my psychics, my seers, my mystics, my readers, my content creators, whether you channel or even if you are like a painter, a poet, an author, these are all ways in which the divine moves through. We're learning what the actual nature of sacrifice is. And it isn't sacrifice for the sake of self-sabotage. It is sacrifice of saying, you know what? I'm not going to post a video every single day. I'm going to post a video on this date and this date and this date, but not every single day. Even if I feel as though there are messages that the collective needs, I understand that I can write them down. I understand that I can tell my guides, can we hold it off and do it in this manner so that I can rest, so that I can be at my best and give my best. And in that way, then we've got this beautiful, and again, Empress energy, this beautiful energy of love and nurturing and creation, and this understanding that life is a dance. It's musical. It is inspirational. And when we tap into that third eye and we open that up, then we see that all the things that have fallen away and all the things that have gone wrong and all the things that we have struggled with in our life have been for a reason. And the reason is because it has brought us to a state of peace and contentment. And I apologize if you guys can hear my dogs who sound like Chewbacca. That would be my dog Elizabeth, or my daughter Elizabeth's dog Jade. Whenever her and Willow bicker, she sounds like Chewbacca. It's very funny. But pile one, this is what I have for you. You're learning to be content within the art of giving, but giving to yourself, giving to others, dancing and singing and playing with life, and creating to create instead of creating to change the world. It's a beautiful thing when you step into that, because those are the creations that really do change the world. So pile one, thank you so much. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides. Thank you to Spirit for these mini messages. Thank you for the collective messages. Pile one, if this resonated, please hit that like button. Go down and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And remember, I'm asking my whole community to comment down in the comment section below about what pile you chose so that you guys can identify each other out within the community. And don't forget to check the description box below for all of the links for my author page and all the books that I have out there for you guys. All right, pile one, we're going to clear this off and get to pile two. All right, pile two. So we have the Temperance card. This is Sagittarius energy. And I always feel Jupiter and Chiron together with this energy. That is a longer story, but we have Puck and Fear. I have to look that one up. And then we have Oya and Power. Oya. We're going to start with Oya. I'm going to pull out the books. We've got Goddess and Sirens as well as Gods and Titans. And I'm just going to give you guys what the short version of these are. But if you know Oya, we should talk, because I love Oya. And I actually made a card based off of her energy called the Stormbringer. And she's just amazing. Okay, so Oya and Power says, change is welcome. Allow the storm to pass, as it is necessary to clear the way. You are protected in your search for equality. Do not misuse your power. And let's look at Puck, I think is how you say it. I could be wrong, but we're just going to go with it, guys. All right. It says, examine your fears. What is there to be afraid of? You are being asked to confront what frightens you. Okay, so I'm being brought to the end of my Pluto retrograde guidebook. And when I was working through the energies at the end of Pluto retrograde, I was brought to a memory back from when I was a kid and I was at Valley Fair, which is a amusement park. Thank you, Spirit. An amusement park in Minnesota, which is a neighboring state to where I live. I'm in North Dakota. And when we went to Valley Fair, there was a bunch of storm warnings, and then there were horrible thunderstorms, and then they cleared up. So the park wasn't going to open, and then it did. And when we were there, the storms came back in, and there were tornadoes over top of the biggest roller coaster that they had, and it was terrifying. But the power of the storm itself, it was like the power to create destruction, and then it didn't create destruction. What it did was it brought out fears. Fears of loss, fears of being lost, fears surrounding losing family, surrounding destruction, fears surrounding life and death. Now, what I'm getting for this pile, especially right now, is as this energy comes in and flows through, you're being called more and more to really harness this equalizing energy that you have the power to create, and understand that you are the one that actually brings forth the tower moments right now. But the tower moments that you're bringing forth are the ones that actually knock down your fears and overcome your fears. And as you move through this phase, as you annihilate or reduce the fears that you have, it's like a tornado going through the land. The tornado is going to strip away that base layer or top layer of soil. And when it does that, it actually brings up fertile, nutrient soil. It brings up the area that has the most potency, most power, and most fertility. So for this pile especially, this heavy energy is going to feel like all your fears are overpowering you. But what you're being called to be aware of is that you are the alchemist. You're the one who takes these fears and transforms them. And as you transform them, you realize that the power to make and break your life, to change your life, to overcome your fears, to transform your fears into something more, like into power, has always been within you. Call on Oya. Sit with her. Get in touch with her. Understand her energy and respect it, because her energy has a lot to do with yours as well. All right, pile 2. This is your mini message. I want to say thank you so much to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection. Thank you, Spirit, for these short messages on the back end of a collective message. It really is so illuminating. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And just like I asked at the beginning of the video, please comment down in the comment section below what pile you chose so that we can really work on connecting to each other here, because I think the more that we connect and build a community and collaborations, the stronger our spirits become in the world. So thank you again, pile 2. Don't forget to check the description box for all the links to my books. There are also links to donate to my channel if you feel so inclined. So thank you again, and I will see you guys at my next reading. Let's move on to pile 3. Okay, pile 3. You have the 10 of Swords, Anubis and Protection, and Athena and Strategy. Okay, so pile 3. You've been where I've been before in my life. I'm not even going to pull the book for these because Athena and Anubis are 2 of my closest guides. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the 10 of Swords and this ending of the cycle. This heaviness that you're feeling is the heaviness of knowing that there are those 10 swords in your back. Those 10 swords that either were placed there by another person or placed there by yourself. Now, the 10 swords that are in your back are there because they are your protection. They're holding you down to the ground. And what I'm actually getting here is so profound. I shouldn't be surprised because you're my pile 3s, and pile 3s always blow me away. But what I'm getting is this heaviness that you're feeling is anchoring you to the ground. It's almost as if you feel like I can't get back up. But if you take a minute to lay down, like genuinely lay down on the ground, if you can, say you go to a park, lay down on the ground. Lay down with your on your stomach on the ground. That was something that I did when I was down in Florida at the beach. It was one of the most rejuvenating energies for my heart and soul. it was like all of the negativity seeped out of my heart and directly down into the earth. And then I literally could feel it transforming and coming up and filling and surrounding me. This is what I'm seeing for you guys. So this heaviness that you're carrying, this burden that you're carrying, anything that you feel like it's like there's a foot on your back just pushing and pushing and pushing you down and you just want relief, go lay down in the grass on your stomach and let it seep out. This has been like a divine strategy, a divine redirection for you guys because they're protecting you from something or someone. And now it's time for you to fully understand the level of protection you have all around you, even when it feels like you don't. Because what I'm seeing here is over time, through these moments of being stabbed in the back or betraying yourself or anything that has caused you mental anguish, you have been going through this period of like really truly working with the dead, working like you guys are my mediums, my oh man, you guys are like evidentiary mediums or manifestation mediums. What is it called? Spirit materializing mediums. As in like your voice can change when you allow yourself, but you've been blocking that off. Do you guys see that really disappeared? That's been happening more and more on my channel. Light orbs, spirit orbs coming through. Take that as a confirmation, that light orb moving through. Take that as your confirmation that you really are mediums here. And that came through with the materializing medium. That is not an easy thing to be. And I understand that. So there has to be some sort of strategy for you to be able to handle working with the dead in the ways, and I just saw another one, in the ways that really serve your best and the best good of the collective. Some of you alternately may be experiencing some pretty profound revelations. Know that throughout all of this, whatever you're building, whatever you're creating, the strategy that you have in order to build what you want, it's been done because of a deep sense of protection surrounding you, because there were people that were betraying you, that there were people that were ready to stab you in the back, and Spirit had your back and has your back. So as you feel heavy, now you can release that heaviness by really letting yourself get grounded into the earth. Just surrender to it and understand that all of the different ways and techniques, none of them matter. Just listen to your body right now. Listen to your body. That's your number one strategy. Listen to your body, because it's going to help you understand the wisdom of how to move forward and why it has felt like the universe or spirit has really had their foot on your back and has been holding you down and holding you back. You're going to see how you were being protected, how it needed to be this way and happen in this manner. And it's going to be different for all of you. So I want you to take that as it resonates and understand the magnitude of it within your own personal life. But that's literally all I'm being given for you guys. I'm just seeing a lot of people like laying down in the grass and this transformation and alchemization happening for you. You don't even really have to do anything. Willow, that sounded chew toy, baby. Okay, sorry guys. All right, I am going to let you guys go here. I want to say thank you so much for all of your amazing energy. Thank you to all those who have joined my channel. Say thank you, Willow. Ow, ow, ow. It's mean. Be nice. Okay, pile 3. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated. Hit that notification bell and the subscription button if you have not already subscribed. And down in the comment section below, as I asked everybody else, please put pile 3 down there if you chose pile 3 so that you can connect with your community. That is a great strategy for understanding how it's playing out in everybody else's life, the same thing that's kind of playing out in yours. Down in the description box, there are links to my books. So I want to say thank you again one more time. And for anybody who stayed through all 3 piles and the whole message, you guys are rock stars. When I channel collective messages and they get this long, I always wonder whether this is going to hit where it's supposed to hit. But thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are rock stars. I love you all, and I will see you at my next readings next week. I love you. Bye.